Hello everyone. In our last lecture, we discussed about an example and how can we convert an ER model to a dimensional model. One question from one student came that if we are joining multiple dimensional tables with the fact table, how will the performance will actually increase? It should be decreased because we are joining the tables. Now, if we remember our ER model and we look at five different tables whose names are province, division, district, city, and store. Now, in our ER model, we combine all these tables inside a one entity called store, in which we had multiple columns with the name store, city, uh, division, district, and provinces. But in our ERD, these columns actually belong to a different tables that were joined using some primary key, foreign key relationships. When we collapse or combine these multiple tables inside one table, now if you conceptualize this way of actually combining the tables inside one table, we see that we are actually decreasing number of joins between tables, and actually we are bringing all the table data inside one table. Now if we in our dimensional model, actually we keep all the tables with that were attached to dimension store. We have to, if we have to get the city from first store, we have to actually make a join between these tables. So in, if we see that we have actually increased number of tables, decreased number of tables, and when we have decreased the number of tables, we're actually limited to some little number of tables. Let's say we have four dimension and one fact table, so we have five tables. So if we need data from all these tables, we have to make four joins only. Of course, the join will cost us in case of a performance, but if we had uh, if we had more than four tables inside our dimensional model, we will need more joins to actually get the data. So in our dimensional model, we are actually limiting the number of tables so that the number of join are reduced. There is no way that we can actually not limit the number of join to zero, because we have to uh, make the dimensional model in a way that it should not be fully denormalized. It should be partially denormalized so that we can actually distinguish between the facts and their dimensions. Another question was that why we not put all the facts and dimensions inside one single table. And in that case, if we apply that scenario inside dimensional modeling, we will actually come up with full denormalized dimensional model, which is not required, because in that case we will not be able to distinguish between facts and dimensions. Of course, if we look at the one single table that contains all the facts and dimensions, we can see some of the data that differentiate between facts and dimensions. But when we need to update some kind of dimensional data inside the data warehouse, we will need more rows to iterate, because most of the data in that table that contains that contains dimension facts, we will need to iterate all the rows to actually update some special data. Because you know that when facts and dimensions are combined, the data will repeat itself many times. So in most of the rows, some fact value will be missing. I will explain why in some cases the fact values will be missing. Let's say I say that some of the products that are sold, that are actually kept in the fact table, their quantity and their sold price is kept in the fact table. But if we talk about those products that are not yet sold, their entry will not be inside the fact table. And when we combine the fact table and dimensional table inside one table, for those products, the fact values of quantity and amount sold will be null, because those products has not been sold yet. So there will be many issues if we combine all the facts and dimensions inside a single table. And uh, by doing this, our dimensional model will be fully denormalized, which is not required by the dimensional modeling. dimensional model should be in a partially denormalized state so that the number of joins that I already discussed can be reduced to get better performance from the data warehouse. Now, in this lecture, we will discuss more on the issues of dimensional modeling inside a data warehouse. So, one of the very main issues that actually I already discussed, that some of the facts that we record that are stored inside our fact table. Let's say the transaction our business made is stored inside a fact table. But what of those products that have, or what are those banks accounts where no transaction has been made? Let's say transactional fee fact table do not have records for event that do not occur. It means that inside a store there are multiple products available. Some of the products are sold and some are not. So the products that are being sold are actually recorded inside our fact table, but those products that has not been sold and available at the store, their entry is not recorded in the fact table, because fact table actually stores the transactions of the products that has been stored. So one of the issues is that if a CEO has to see that which products in my business has not been sold yet, or he cannot see the profit of those products, or he cannot analyze those products that has not been sold. And similarly, in many different other businesses, some of the facts that actually do not occur at some event, their entry is not available inside the fact table. So example, it is saying that no records for products that were not sold. Of course, if a product is not sold, his record or its records will not be available inside a fact table. So it has both the advantage and advantage of not storing the fact that has not been actually occurred. So advantage, benefits of sparsity of data, significantly less data to store the rare events. So what is the sparsity of data? The if we say that uh, data inside a fact table is in the form of rows, and these rows contains the data of those events, or those facts that has actually been stored inside the data warehouse from the transaction system. So sparsity of data is that the data is not very close. So in case of the facts that has not been occurred, they will not be inside our fact table. So we can by looking at this data, we can see that which values are missing by looking at different dimensions. Disadvantage is that lack of information. Again, example is saying what products on promotion were not sold. Let's say some of your products were on promotion, and from those products, some of the products were sold and whose entry was recorded inside the fact table. But those products that were not sold, their entry was not inside the fact table. So it will be very difficult to see that which were products were not sold, because their entry is not available inside the fact table. So fact recording of uh, those facts that are actually not been occurred. So CEO will have to actually go through each store individually, and he will have to see which products are not sold, because those products that has not been sold, their data will not be available inside the data warehouse. So another uh, issue a principle inside a data warehouse is that a factless fact table. It means that a fact table that does not contain any fact or measurement. So in our data warehouse, sometimes we will actually keep those fact tables that does not contain any fact, but the dimensions that are being referred inside that fact table actually tell us about the fact. I will give you an example. Our attendance system. Let's say we have dimensions of, like, let's say student. We have a dimension name like professor. We have a dimension, let's say subject, and we have let's say we have three dimensions. Let's say, again, remember, three dimensions: student, professor, subject. Now, when we take a class, let's say a class is being held at 8:30 a.m. in the morning, and the professor comes to the class. There can be multiple students available inside the class, and that class is for a particular subject. Now the professor, what will he do? He will actually take the attendance of every student. Now inside the dimension table, the student dimension table, there are all the records belonging to each every student. Inside our professors table, there are records of professors of our university, and in the third table we have a record of our subjects. In the fact table, we will actually refer subject ID, student ID, and subject ID for the to actually store the attendance of each student for each subject taken by a different professor. Now, if we look at the fact table green is that what is mean by green? What is the meaning of each row? Now, inside our fact table, the fact table of attendance shows that the mean again each row says that this student has taken this subject by this professor on a particular date. Now, again, one dimension I missed, that is should be the date dimension of the time dimension. So instead of 3 dimensions, we have 4 dimensions: student, subject, professors, and time. So again, the fact table row will show that this student has taken this subject class by this professor at this time. Now, if we look at the row, do we need to actually store the we can actually mark the attendance by 1 or 0 uh, by using another column inside the fact table. But by marking 1 and 0, we let's say we do not mark 1 and 0 for present and absent. We say that if a student's data or student's record with a particular subject and with a particular professor at the specific time is actually stored inside the fact table, that row actually means that this student has taken this subject's class by this professor at the particular time. And in the previous slide we had discussed that some of the facts or some of the events that do not occur, they will not exist inside the fact table, and we apply that principle inside our this slide. We say that a student that will take the class whose that student record will be available inside the fact table for that particular subject and taken by this professor at this particular time. The student who does not take the class, whose record will not be there inside the fact table for that subject and for the by the professor who has taken that class at the particular time. So similar, we by looking at this table, we can easily say that there can be multiple business processes where the table does not contain does not contain any fact, and we do not need the fact inside that table because we know that the row actually represents the fact. So multiple dimensions when combined actually represent the fact by not storing the fact, but they are actually telling about the fact that this student has taken this subject class by this professor at the particular time. So a fact table without numerical fact columns captures relationship between dimensions. Use a dummy fact column that always values 1. We can use a dummy column, let's say for dummy column name attendance, uh, and its value can be 1 or 0, 1 for present and 0 for absent. But we do not need to use that column. If you want to use that, you can use it, but we do not need to use that particular uh, dummy column to actually represent the attendance of that student, because actually all the relationships between the dimensions actually show the actual fact that has been occurred. So again, it is giving us an example that department student mapping fact table. What is the major of each student? Now let's say we have subjects and we have student. So if we these are two dimensions, subjects and students, and let's say we can say department or student. So inside our fact table, a student is actually a student dimension is brought to the fact table, and the department dimension is brought to the fact table. So each row is tells us that this student has this major. So we do not need to actually store the fact for that. We students do not enroll in any course, so we actually will make a fact table that will contain the student and the course dimension, and the records in that table, the record will show that this student this course, it means that this student has did not take any course, or actually we can say that uh, then actually we will actually eliminate our one dimension. We will actually store the student dimension, and we will see that this whose and whose those students whose entries are inside that fact table, we will only say that these student did not take any course in the degree. So some of the, and if we look at this example, which products on promotion in which stores for which days. So we only want to see that which products were sold. We do not we are not interested in the quantity or the products of the amount of the products that were sold. We are actually interested in those products that were actually sold, that were on promotion. So in that case, the products that were sold, that products entry and the promotion entry, the promotion is another dimension. So products entity and the promotion entity inside the fact table, and each row will tell us this product was sold on this promotion. So it, so in that case we see that there is no fact inside the fact table, but only the dimensions actually relating the relating to each other and actually explains the fact. So again, the main fourth issue inside the fact table is that handling multi-valued dimension, and uh, but in order to understand what is handling multi-dimension, we need to actually see what is multi-valued dimensions. So again, when we talk about facts and the dimensions, we actually see that for each row inside the fact table, one value from each dimension should be part of that value. Let's say we say that a product inside a single transaction, uh, there can be multiple products that can be ordered inside a single transaction, but in that we store the data inside the fact, we actually forget about transaction. We actually store the transaction number is for each product sold, that actually tells that this product was sold in this transaction. So if we say that this product, so if we talk about the fact table, there is a dimension called product that is being referred inside the fact table. So we can say that this product was sold to this customer at this particular time at that particular store, and the quantity of the product that was sold, and the product and the amount of the product that was sold. So the fact tables row actually represent that each dimension actually is bringing one value from the dimensions inside the particular row. Time is bringing one value, customer name is one, and the product is one, and transaction number is a dummy field, or we can say it is a degenerate dimension inside our fact table. Now, in most of the cases, each row represents multiple dimensions, and each dimensions from those dimensions actually bring one value from its table to that particular row. But in some cases, uh, we need to store multiple values for a single dimension inside the fact table in a particular row. Let's say we say that uh, in a bank we have multiple joint accounts. Now, what is a joint account? Joint account is an account that is made by multiple customers, and it means that multiple customers are the owner of that single account. So let's say we say that the company that holds the, or the customers that hold the single joint account actually withdraw some money. When they withdraw some money, they are actually making a transaction. When they are making a transactions, now if you see, there are multiple customers linked to a single account. Now when you see that the transaction is made, so transaction row will be actually included inside that dimension inside the fact table. And but the, and suppose before the transaction table the balance was 50,000, and when the transaction was made of 25,000, the remaining balance was actually 25,000 because the 25,000 amount was withdrawn. Now let's say we in the for that particular dimension or for the particular amount account, that the number of customers that are actually owners of the single account are 5. By actually by withdrawing those 25,000 by these 5 customers, if we want to store the transactions amount inside transactions row inside the fact table, we will have to actually store multiple values for customers for that account now if we see that inside our fact table, let's say we have an entry of customer id, transaction id, and the balance inside our fact table, we can see that if 5 customers holding a single account withdraw money of 25,000 at the particular date, so the row will actually the row should now the row that will actually come inside our fact table, it will contain 5 customers because they belong to the same account with time single value with and the transaction amount that were actually sold, and the balance after that amount that was actually that will be actually stored is 25,000. Now the main point here is that we cannot store these 5 customers inside a single value of customer. We actually already said that inside the fact table, each row that contains dimensions and facts, for each dimension inside a fact table, each dimension should actually contain one single value for that dimension. But in that particular case where 5 customers that belong to a single account are actually withdrawing an amount of 25,000, now a single transaction is made by 5 customers. So it means that the customer dimension will have to bring 5 customer IDs inside a single dimensional value, which is not correct according to our rule that we already explained. So that is called multi-value dimension. It means that that dimension will bring multiple values for a single row inside our fact table. So to handle this issue, this is the multi-value dimensions issue, that a dimension that should bring one single value to a fact table's row, it is bringing more than one values inside that fact table single row. So in order to handle this kind of scenario, one of the scheme or one of the way that is adopted, that we actually drop that dimension. By actually dropping that dimension, we will come to more analysis problem. We will not be able to analyze in this customer dimension, but in order to do that, use a primary value as a single value to deal with this issue. If let's say we have 5 customers, we will actually store the data of one customer inside that single row. But in that case, again, there will be multiple analysis issues. We cannot analyze multiple joint accounts that are contained by multiple customers. Again, add multiple values in the dimensional table. So in that case, it is showing that we will need to store this customer's account inside our customer dimension with the repeating number of customers and with their accounts. So it means that we have to actually join accounts and customers to actually relate a customer with the particular account, or use some helper tables, or we can say helper in other books they say we need bridge tables. So in order to handle these issues, we will actually bring a table between the customers table and the fact table, because in order to do that, we will need to actually come up with the solution that those 5 customers that belong to a single account should be actually handled inside a single row. So one of the solution will be that we'll actually bring an accounts table between the customer and the fact table, and inside that accounts table we will actually store account ID 5 times with that customer ID, And in order to do that, in order to actually bring the customer's ID inside that fact table, will actually bring the account ID inside that fact table. So in that case, if we want to store that transaction, that it means the transaction was to actually withdraw 25,000 by 5 customers. Now instead of storing customer ID inside the fact table, we will actually store the account ID that actually belongs to a 5 customers. So we will not need to actually store 5 accounts for that customer, sorry, 5 customers IDs inside the fact table in a particular, in a single row, but we'll actually need one single account ID, that is that as that actually refers to 5 different customers that belong to that account. So it means that the problem will be solved. We will look at some of the example of that multi-value dimension inside the next slide. So if we read this text, that will actually explain what is multi-value dimension. So let's read. In an ideal dimensional schema, a fact table only supports a single dimension with a single value relative to the fact table's grain. So again, we already discussed that inside a fact table, when we set the grain of the fact table, we set the grain in a way that each dimension inside the fact table should bring one value for a particular or a single row inside the fact table. But there are occasions when a fact table has to bring to dimension multiple values to inside a single dimension. This throws the entire fact and dimension relationship out of the balance, as well as the established primary key foreign key relationship between the dimension tables and the fact table. So it again, the relationship disturbed is disturbed by bringing multiple values inside a single dimension. A good example of this is a joint account bank account, which has multiple account holders. The balance for such an account cannot be stored in the fact table with the customer ID as dimension, as there are multiple customers. So again, I already discussed that when we want to store the balance for that account for multiple customers, we cannot store inside a single row. If we want to store that, we will to bring all the customers, and we will need to store all the same balance for all the customers, and we want to avoid that duplications. This is where a bridge table comes in, and evident from the name, a bridge table is nestled between a fact table and a dimension table and resolves many to many relationship. So in order to actually bring the customers related to an account, we will need actually bridge tables. So let's say we in the fact table, we want actually, we do not want to store the customer names, but actually we want to store the account information or account ID and the customer ID that belong to a particular account. We will need that dimension. So what we will do, we'll actually make two tables between the uh, customers table and the fact table, that is actually the center of the star schema. So what we will do, we will actually make our relationship between a different customer that belong to a particular belong to a same account. We will bring that inside our one table, and we will give them the name, or we will make groups of that customer that belong to a particular account, and then we will bring that group's ID inside our fact table. So that group ID, for that group ID, will need to actually insert one single row for that transaction balance inside our fact table. So examples are again that patients can have multiple diagnoses. Let's say different, a person comes for treatment, and there when we actually want to store the data inside the patients, and we want to actually get the again, we want to generate the bill, and when the bill is generated, we want to actually store that patient's treatment for all the treatment that has begun. We want to actually store one row for that patient's bill, but inside that patient's bill, diagnosis is our dimension. But when a patient is diagnosed with multiple treatments, what we will need to actually store for that particular row. So we'll need to actually again make we cannot bring multiple diagnosis IDs inside our fact table. So what we'll need to do, we'll actually look at different we'll actually make different dimension tables, and we will actually, these dimensional tables will be bridge dimension table, and we'll bring that dimensions, that group dimension inside our fact table, so that we do not have to repeat the multiple multiple dimension value inside a single table. So, okay, there are multiple different examples available. I will show some of these examples ERD, or sorry, dimensional model inside our next slide.